In a healing I did with a client recently, I was initially guided to the back of her heart chakra. And I was guided to check out the back of her heart chakra from all these different layers of the aura in back. And amazingly, what I found, and I hadn't really experienced this quite like this phenomenon, my hand was being sucked in to the vertebrae where the back of the heart chakra enters the body. It was really like a gravitational pull. It was really strong. I mean, I couldn't really resist my hand being pulled forward. Now, in front of the heart chakra, I saw my client trying so hard. And I know this about my client. My client is incredibly competent, really brilliant, and works really, really hard. But what I saw in this healing was the energy in the back of the heart chakra was becoming depleted, and she was basically sort of spilling out the front. She was trying so hard, putting so much pressure on herself, and the back of the heart chakra was being sucked in as she was sort of being, pulled forward, and not really being able to be caught by the energy in the back. So the back was being depleted, and therefore ultimately, that energy, that drive, that perfectionism, that brilliant get up and go energy ultimately is going to be depleted. It's not going to be sustainable. That person's going to eventually get tired. They're not going to have enough oxygen in the lungs because the heart chakra feeds the lungs and the heart as well in particular. So they're not going to have enough oxygen, and eventually they're just going to get really, really tired and, potentially burned out and frustrated. Their work's going to suffer, and goodness knows she needs that job. And at this point, I saw what felt to me like a female, which I assume, knowing a little bit about my client, was the mother energy. And I felt like my client had internalized the mother's pressure on her. And I actually saw these discs at each level of the back of the heart chakra. They were like really thin, like almost like metallic, discs. And can you imagine like a metal disc pushing you from the back? Well, that's what this internalized female, which I'm assuming was her mother, energy had done to her probably over the many years. This woman's not a child anymore, but nonetheless, that energy, if it's done, for many, many years as a child and through teenagehood, if the mother has back of the heart chakra intense kind of pushing energy, and the child so obviously impressionable, the mother kept pushing this back of the heart chakra energy into the child and the teenager, and that created this incredible motivation, this pressure that my particular client, for the most part over the years, has been able to handle and has excelled. But as we saw in this healing, there's only so much you can do and achieve. But if the energy is not backing you up from the back, you'll get depleted. And that's when all kinds of problems could happen. You can easily get back problems and spine issues and vertebrae and now, of course, the lung issues are not, and the heart in here as well, on the neck. All kinds of things could happen when you're not being backed up. In this particular case, from the back of the heart chakra, because that's where the mother had her energy pushing herself probably, and her daughter internalized those discs, those metal discs of back heart chakra pressure that caused the daughter to be so, to use that pressure and transform it into achievement. For another person, though, the same kind of mother back heart chakra metallic disc pushing pressure, another person could have easily not, become somebody who achieved, and all kinds of problems could have happened. The person, could have really, gone downhill. Alcohol, drugs, who knows? But this particular client so far, we've intervened early enough so that we can now, and this is what happened in the healing. What happened in the healing is after I processed that pressure energy in the back of the heart chakra, at the end of it, the back of the heart chakra started becoming more stable, backing her up, strengthening, the energy in the back, strengthening the energy coming into the heart and the lungs. And then the pressure from the front started stabilizing, where my client now felt more balanced and, coming back to the initial whiz kid that she was hired as originally. So it's really important, in general. Obviously, you can't go over your limit, and in this particular case, for this particular healing, for this particular client, it was all about the front and back of the heart chakra coming back to balance, to stabilize. All right.